Today we're talking about one of the most important and often overlooked figures in West Coast gangster rap history, the late Big Y. A lot of people know him from the legendary Bangin' on Wax project. He went by Red Rag, I do believe. Others know him from the group The Relatives. And younger fans may not even realize that he played a big role in helping launch artists like YG, Ty Dolla $ign, DJ Mustard, and even the group Cali Swag District. Big Y's story is a unique one because he wasn't just a rapper. He was an artist. He was an entrepreneur. He was a mentor. And he was someone who helped bridge different eras of West Coast hip-hop. Big Y was born in Inglewood, California, and during the 80s and 90s, Inglewood was heavily influenced by gang culture. And Big Y himself became affiliated with the CRENSHAW MAFlA Bloods. Like many young men from LA during that era, he was surrounded by violence, street politics, and limited opportunity. Let's keep it real. But one thing that separated Big Y from many other artists was his interest in music. At the time, gangster rap was exploding. Groups like NWA had already changed the game, and record labels, they were looking for authentic street voices. That opportunity would soon arrive in a very unusual way. Take yourself back to 1993. Bangin' on Wax, one of my favorite albums. I've covered this album so much on my channel. But in 1993, Big Y became part of this controversial project. And for those who don't know about Bangin' on Wax, the concept was simple, but it was revolutionary. Instead of rival gangs fighting in the streets, they would battle each other on records. The goal was to get gang members to bang on wax instead of doing it in real life. Big Y appeared on the B-side as Red Rag, and the album became a national sensation. Especially my favorite song on that project, Piru Love. People couldn't believe that actual B's and C's were recording songs together. The project sold well. It charted nationally, and it became one of the most talked about underground rap releases of the 90s. And Big Y would also appear on the second album, Bangin' on Wax, The Saga Continues, another classic that was released just a couple years later in 1994. While still involved with the Bangin' on Wax movement, Big Y helped form a group called the Young Soldiers. The group included Big Y, Dog, who would later become known as Sugar Booger, and other artists from the blood side of the Bangin' on Wax movement. One of the biggest songs was a song that I still bump to this day. I think it was on the Murder Was the Case soundtrack initially, because they were supposed to get signed to Suge. There was some whole thing. They were going to be on death row. But one of their biggest songs was East Side, West Side. East Side, nigga, West Side, nigga. That shit was hard. That was my joint. And it gained attention in LA, and it helped build their local reputation. Young Soldiers represented a transition for Big Y. He was no longer just a participant on a compilation project. He was becoming a serious recording artist with his own group and his own identity. As the 90s progressed, Big Y became one of the central figures in another important group, Damu Riders. Damu Riders was a blood-affiliated rap collective that featured artists like B Brazy, Lil Hawk, shout out to the boy Lil Hawk, Bloody Mary, R.I.P. R.I.P. to B Brazy too. R.I.P. to Red Rum, man. Damn. And many others. For many, not only blood-affiliated rap fans, but hip-hop fans, Damu Riders became legendary. I still bump that to this day. Their music was raw, it was aggressive, deeply rooted in L.A. street culture. Damu Riders and albums like How Deep Is Your Hood became underground classics. And Big Y was one of the faces of that movement. His voice, his personality, his leadership, it helped make him one of the most respected artists associated with these projects. By the late 90s, Big Y was ready for another chapter. Together with Sugar Boogie, he formed the duo The Relatives. And many fans consider this to be the peak of Big Y's career. Unlike some of the earlier gang-focused projects, The Relatives showed more versatility. The group blended gangster rap, they blended street-telling, humor, and business-minded independence. It was a really, really dope concept. And they released several albums, including Dirty Money, The Takeover, Money, Respect, Money, Rise to Power. And what made The Relatives special was that they remained relevant while many other 1990 artists faded away. The streets loved Big Y. The streets loved Sugar Booger. They built a very loyal fan base. And one thing that many people don't realize is that Big Y was much more than a rapper. He had a strong eye for talent. According to interviews and industry insiders, he helped support and promote artists early in their career, including, once again, YG. Come on. Ty Dolla $ign, DJ Mustard. Even more impressive, Big Y played a major role behind the scenes in the creation and development of the group Cali Swag District. Teach me how to Dougie. Teach me how to Dougie. All my bitches love me. All my bitches love me. I mean, that song was revolutionary, man. Came out with 2010, and people still bump it to this day. That song right there changed the game. Teach Me How to Dougie changed the game. People try to call it a corny song. Nah, that song changed the game. And put that song any club in America at 11:50 p.m. and people are going to get on that dance floor and start Dougieing. During the 2010s and early 2020s, Big Y remained active in the business. He continued recording music, doing interviews, mentoring younger artists, and discussing West Coast rap history, podcasts, and YouTube channels. Many younger fans discovered him through podcasts, online interviews, where he shared stories about banging on wax, Damu Riders, The Relatives, his Death Row era, and the evolution of West Coast rap. He became something of a historian himself, preserving stories that otherwise might have been forgotten. Sadly, Big Y passed away in 2023 at the young age of 49. The exact cause was never publicly confirmed. His death shocked many fans throughout the West Coast hip-hop community. Tributes poured in from artists, fans, and longtime friends. Many remembered him not only as a rapper, but as a mentor and connector, someone who helped countless artists throughout their career. When people talk about West Coast rap history, names like Dr. Dre, Snoop, Ice Cube, they naturally come up. But Big Y represents another side of the history. He was there during the groundbreaking Bangin' on Wax era. He helped shape Damu Riders. He built The Relatives into a respected independent group. And later, he helped nurture talent that would define a whole new generation of West Coast music. His story is really the story of West Coast underground rap itself. Surviving, adapting, and continuing to influence the culture long after the spotlight moved elsewhere. And that's the story of Big Why? This is no game, like you said, man. This man spent 26 years, dog, and if you're not ready to go full throttle for what you believe in, don't even do it, man. Don't even do it.
It's not worth it.
And I don't think I've ever heard anyone, Lil Hawk, after doing, 20, because I talk to a lot of people behind bars. Two of my really good friends are doing life in prison, so I talk to them every Sunday. And we just I've never heard a person that has done 25 years, is banged and all that, ever say, yeah, I'd do it again. That was cool. Every single person that said, man, don't do it. Don't do it.
Dusty, that was a waste of my time, waste of my life, man. And just for people that's listening right now that don't know, the game is so cold. When you live in that lifestyle, like what happened to me can happen to you. I got framed for a murder that I don't know nothing about. I didn't commit. I don't know nothing about it, period. It was all some BS, but I was living a lifestyle. So by me living that lifestyle, I gave, foul police action at, manufacturing a case on me because I was in that lifestyle. So guess what? Now let's go back to this. If we go back to the 80s and shit like that, one of the first things they bring into the game was it's a war on gangs and drugs. So think about that for a second. If it's a war on gangs and drugs from the government, the police officials and agencies, that means it's open season on gang members. So by me being a gang member at that time, since it's a war on gangs and drugs, that means it was a war on me. So if it's a war on me, and it ain't no fairness in war. So that means the police can frame me, lie on me, they can kill me, they can plant dope on me, they can plant guns on me. You want to know why? Because when it's a war, it's the motherfucking war. So that means the police, they don't care about the rules no more. Ain't no more fucking
all is fair in love and war,
all is fair in war. So exactly. So I became a victim of that kind of shit. So when they sent me to prison for this murder that I didn't do, they wrote it off as, so what? That's what it is. You know what I'm saying? So my life didn't mean shit to them. And you know how the game goes at the end of the day. I'm one of God's sons, so God won't let me go out like that. God was one of them things like, look, I'm going to set you down for a minute, wake your game all the way up, and bring you back stronger than ever, get this money, lead the right way, and handle your business, period, point blank. Straight up.
Man. Let's parlay that. We're going to actually take a step back, and we're going to talk about something that a lot of my audience seem to be intrigued by. This is usually, these videos tend to be, my biggest views. I want to talk a little bit about Banging on Wax. But first I would like to talk about what you were doing, just before Banging on Wax. How did you even get approached? Were you flowing on the street, battling people? Like, talk to me about your come up in as a rapper, and then how you, once again, were approached to be on that project.
Well, to keep it clean, as a youngster, man, I always been a hip hop head, from the west to the east. Like I tell people, man, back then it wasn't like how shit is now, hate and all that kind of shit. Music was music. So I'm talking about, I go way back to like the Fat Boys, LL, Run DMC, you name it. And then being back west, from Mismaster Spade, Toddy T, NWA, on up, DJ Quick, Death Row, etc. So I'm a real hip hop head, so I always love to rap. So when, to keep it always clean with you, when NWA stepped on the scene, and everybody was an Eazy fan, including myself. Eazy was this type of shit, he was on top of shit, period. He had that look, whole image, and that was the lifestyle everybody was living. So quite naturally, I kind of like, went that direction with, sitting that kind of music and shit like that. So I used to like mimic like songs from him, like for example, like we tell out the Boys in the Hood. My first rap was the Bloods in the Hood. You know what I'm saying? I was just a youngster, but I would try to take as much of my own words to it as possible, but use Eazy-E's style and kind of mimic him, kind of like, and then I started hearing myself like, okay, hold up. So I started picturing myself being like, when I got older, the next, gangster rapper, like the next Eazy-E type of mother shit like that, because Eazy-E was a fool. He made that shit look good. He made that shit look gangster, period, point blank. And that's the life that I was glorifying as a youngster at that time. So I wanted to be like that type of shit. So I always knew that if I was going to be a rapper, it's going to be some shit like that. There wasn't going to be no backpack rapper, no real MC type of rapper. Like, even though I can really rap and I can ball up and shit like that, that's not really my style type of shit. I'm not like trying to be like the LL type of rapper or, the Run DMC and them. I love them, dude, but that's their style. I'm from the West Coast, like this Eazy-E, Death Row, Tupac, you know, all that type of shit. That's the shit I'm from. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of shit I be feeling. So that's why I rap the way I rap, and that's why I do what I do. But that's kind of like one of the kind of things that kind of motivate me, you know, NWA shit like that. But Mommy Big Wise, you know, rest in peace. You know what I'm saying? He was rapping way back when he was kids, so he been doing it. And I used to always see him doing it, but I never really took it seriously and shit. So I was like, oh, okay, you know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers really doing this shit. So what I would do is, like, when I hear gangster beats or beats that I like, I started kind of like start freestyling and shit. Because for some reason, I've always been good at poetry. Still to this day, I don't know why I'm good at poetry. I can freestyle for then like 10 hours straight without fucking up some heat. I'd be like, damn, I don't even know where this shit come from, B. It's like some magical shit. I don't wake up and I want to be a motherfucking rapper. This shit is coming to me like God said, I'm going to bless you with this talent. It's just whatever you do with it. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know where this shit come from. I don't know where these rhymes be coming from. I don't know how. Man, if you seen how I went to work on this shit, you would think you around probably pocket and you be like, man, this is crazy shit. Because I don't know where this shit come from, bro. I just know this is in my soul. I love music. And, you know, this is a part of my get down. I'm a real street individual. So this is part of my whole get down type of shit. So just to talk some shit on the mic, it's kind of like up my alley because I'm kind of like talking like shit that I've either seen, experienced, you know, will do if I had to, or what I won't do, or just like I said, just a lifestyle period. You know, when you really live a lifestyle, when you see shit, you involved in shit, you know what I'm saying, you be around shit, you expose this shit, you know what I'm saying? So if you really in that lifestyle, and you got a lot of motherfuckers that act like they're in that lifestyle, but really not. You know, it's not do that claim neighborhood, they can't even go to the neighborhood type of shit. I'm really from my neighborhood, man, so I'm not in present time with the bullshit or nothing, but I'm legitimately from that community, man. There's a lot of dudes that be claiming shit that just, you know, for fame and for the wrong reasons, and basically false profiting the game and misleading these youngsters and just the world period. And until the world get rid of them type of motherfuckers, there's always gonna be some bullshit in the game. These people, these individuals that's pump faking, that's like I say, misleading people with all this bullshit, and they not even legit. You feel me? So that's like the main problem too, though. Being misled by false prophets, bullshit ass rappers and shit. Period.
Thank you for tuning in to Dusty Vision TV. Please hit that like button if you have not already. And if this is your first time joining the channel and you like what you hear, please hit that subscribe button. And if you enjoyed this video, you just might appreciate this bonus clip I'm about to play for you right now. Off top, the song that stood out to me was a song called Pyru Love. It used the Computer Love sample from Zapp & Rogers. And I don't know what it was about this song, but just that, the song with the video, it hit.
First, Pyru Love was just my brother and Nene. So my brother came up with the thing, like, oh, let's do Computer Love and switch it to Pyru Love. So that was he came up with that. So once he did that, we had I can't think of my boy's name. Folk Clips. There we go. Folk Clips. It's been a long time.
Oh yeah, he did the hook.
Clips,
right?
You know, he was.
He did the hook, right?
Yeah, rest in peace, Folk Clips. Yeah, so
and he was a Crip.
We didn't have no singers, so we like, man, we need to get somebody to sing it. So we just told him to play around with it and hum it, and he was doing such a good job. We're like, bro, you want to do it? And he was like, man, niggas gonna be mad, but I don't give a fuck. Well, it's like, fuck it, nigga, do it. And shit, he did it, and it became what it became to this day, you know.
I was 13 years old saying, now in the biddy of Bompton, Lob Hood is down with the mob, Hollywood and Cross Atlantic off the Bompton Boulevard. Every town has an Elm Street, but not a Freddy Krueger. Don't get caught in the jungles over a park called Ludus. On Rosecrans, past on Leander at the light. Treetop is to the left, Fruit Town is on the right. 151's in Westside Piru, Slay Past Dark, and the only other blood hood is Campanella Park. Haciendas, Swans, and Bounty Hunters will call your number. Rolling 30s and 20, Outlaw 60s rims will put you under. Cabbage Patch, Center Park, Harvard Park, Anthony's Park 2, Scottsdale Neighborhood, Hawthorne Waterfront, all Pirus. LA Denver Lanes, there's more in Pasadena, Avenues, Bloodstone, Inglewood, Families, the Pueblos, Bloodstone Village, Black Peastone, Circle City, and Eastside Bishops got to going on with the MGs, Queen Street, VNGs, ain't no stopping the Village Town, Eastside Penn, Crenshaw Mafia, Bebop, Watt City, Stones, and the Skylines. Don't say, come on, you finish it up for me, you know? I was 14 years old, 13 years old singing this. Who wrote Bloody Mary's verse? Because that is that's probably the best fucking verse in
I don't know why you would
history,
ask that. Bloody Mary wrote Bloody Mary.
So she did,
verse.
and I apologize to Bloody Mary. R.I.P. to her, man. I apologize. I assume that your brother penned that or something like that. No, she wrote that, huh?
No. Everybody wrote their own verse, except like I said, Sugar Booger. He had help with his in the beginning. Well, on the first two albums, because my brother wrote his stuff for Bang on Wax Part 2 as well. And then he just started eventually penning his own game, you know what I'm saying? Putting pen to his own game and doing his own thing. But, and I as well, you know what I'm saying? I was getting a little help from my brother writing certain things because I really wasn't a rapper, but I was just around when him and Corrupt was a group. I used to be just around them just all the time, just a little nigga walking around with them and they just rapping.
I remember my cousin Blue Rag coming in there with an 8-ball of Old English, drunk as a mother.
Oh shit.
And he said, he looked at the Bloods, he was like, you can say crab, cause I'm gonna say flop. And everybody started laughing and giggling. He broke the ice. We went to go get some more drink. We meant to go get more weed and everything, and understood that we were finna start working on this. So that kind of broke the ice. And then after the disperse of that, you started having studio sessions where the Bloods will be in, the Crips will be in. You'll walk in and the Bloods may be in there cutting one of their songs. It was times where if we had confrontation or arguments, before going any farther, I would get us to pray. I'd be like, look, hold on, y'all, let's do this. I get us all to pray. Once I finish the prayer, we pick our heads up, we all feel the energy.
But by the time we started doing the video, the album was already circulating in the streets. So when we did the first video, we just invited Bloods and Crips from all over LA. You know what I'm saying? We put the word out like no set tripping. It's going to be police. It's going to be security. Like whatever, you know what I'm saying? Whatever y'all do, y'all, it can't be no set tripping. So for some reason, I don't know, we didn't have social media, nothing back then, but the word had got out. And then people, you know what I'm saying, everybody liked that album. So they was like, shit, I want to be a part of it. So everybody came to the video shoot hella deep. It's just Bloods and Crips from all over LA. So, you know what I'm saying? You had niggas flamed up, blued up, but it was respectful. It was like, it was the truth, like after the truth. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't even talked about. You know, they got the news clipping or whatever. But if you see the news clip and you see, we was doing a skit where we coming together straight dissing each other, like nigga on some real shit, just coming, we meeting in the middle, everybody banging on each other, bang your set, bang your hood, this, whatever. You know what I'm saying? And we it's like, you know what I'm saying, the scene in Colors, you know what I'm saying, where the Bloods and Crips come in. But that was like a real, like, everybody was really, it was real gang members, and niggas was like, fuck it, we'll do it. And you know what I'm saying? So niggas did that part. As soon as they say cut, niggas just laughing and shit like it wasn't nothing.
That's why the news media was all over it. Over 600 or 700 hours worth of news media coverage, because they was like, they wanted to know how it happened. But then once they seen that this shit went good, they bagged off. They wanted us to kill each other and fuck each other up so they can stay on it. But once they seen it was working, they bagged off.
But this album was very revolutionary, and this album is responsible for literally starting gangs in other states and in other countries. What I mean by that is, one of my really good friends was born and raised in North Carolina, and he told me that Piru Love was so inspirational to his city that just overnight, just blood gangs started showing up everywhere. Just Piru Love came out, and then next thing you know, blood gangs are everywhere. Kind of like it was with the movie Colors when in 1988, when the movie Colors was literally responsible for spreading gangs all over the country. That, and obviously the trade of narcotics, but colors and things like banging on wax were just as influential to spreading gangs across the country.
Yeah, we didn't even know that it was going to do what it did. You know, we were shocked ourselves. So, like I said, I'm going to school, and people like everybody like hearing the song, and then every picnic we go into, everywhere we go, they playing the music. We driving down the street. You know what I'm saying? It was like something new to us. Like, damn, like people really like this. Like, and we dissing. It's like, I don't know. It was like Crips liked it, Bloods liked it. I'm talking about Crips like the Blood side.
Oh yeah.
And it was, you know what I'm saying? It was Bloods that like some of the Crip side. You know what I'm saying? They'll play it low key, and you know what I'm saying? So it was just like, I don't know. It just did something that we didn't know it was going to do.
Like, I was producing shows out of 4 different studios in LA. One in Hollywood, one in South Central, Manchester and Western, one in Westchester, and one in where was the other one? And one in the Crenshaw Mall. So I was doing some editing in the editing bay at the one in the Hollywood studio. And every time I went to the Hollywood studio to do some editing or do a show, those people there will be like, yo, I know this cat that do music. He's like a manager. And I be telling him about you. Whenever I see him, if I see him again, I'm going to give him your number. I'm going to take his number and give him to you. I was like, all right, cool. So one day, because I kept on asking, I was like, what is his name? And they couldn't remember his name. So one day they was like, yo, that guy I was telling you about, he's in the editing bay. Hey, I want to tell him that you're here and I want y'all to talk to each other. So I was like, all right. So when he told me his name, I was like, what's his name? He was like, his name is Big A. He's like a manager for the Dog Pound and stuff.
Oh, that's the homie to this day, man.
Yeah.
Him and I share the same name, literally, man. Shout out Big A, man.
Shout out Big A. I'll never forget that. I went up in there and I talked to him. He was asking me what I did, and I told him I produced a hip hop show over here. And he was like, okay, yeah, man, we need to hook up, man. You know what I'm saying? You know how he talk. And I was like,
that was a good impression.
Yeah, he be tripping me out. So I got his number, and I gave him my number. We exchanged numbers, and I told him what I did. So after that, he said he was going to get at me, right? So I didn't think nothing of it. So I called him one day, and I was like, yo, I'm going to be producing the show. I'm going to record another show on this such and such date. If you come through. I just told him to come through. I was like, come through. You know what I'm saying? I want you to get on the show and talk. You know what I'm saying? And he was like, all right. So I go to the show, and I got like a few guests already, like, invited over there. So when I get there, Big A is standing right there, on the phone in front of the studio. And I'm like, oh, man, he showed up. I was like super excited. I was like, oh, got out the car and was like, what's up, Big A? And he was like, what's up, man? You know what I'm saying? I told you I was going to support you, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm here.
Hey, he's a real one, dog. When it comes to supporting underground artists, he's a real one. He did something similar for me also. He used to own a record shop in Compton on Alondra and Castlegate. Right off Atlantic, and it was called Underworld Connection. And I was a nobody. I'm still a nobody, but I was definitely nobody back then. We're talking like mid-90s. And he bought a bunch of my tapes and put it in his thing, just off the strength of he liked my music, man. And music career didn't go anywhere, but to this day I remember, and I thankfully I know him to this day. We met later on down the line through one of our mutual friends, and man, that shout out Big A, man. If the people, I just have to keep those living, those people who do stuff behind the scenes, man. I gotta definitely give them their props, man. But let's talk about Stranded in the Bottoms, man, because I want everyone out there to check that out. It's on ING Films on Instagram. It's a dope piece, man. Fire one up, sip something, and just or just watch it and relax and enjoy it, man. But what inspired it?
You know what? It was real spontaneous because like I was gonna shoot something in the bottom, but then I got word that Lil Hawk was out. You know what I'm saying? Like, first people was telling me like he's finna get out.
Lil Hawk from Banging on Wax. Shout out Lil Hawk, man.
Yeah. Shout out Lil Hawk. You know what I'm saying? That was my homeboy before he even got locked up. You know what I'm saying? So when they said that he was getting out, I was like, okay, all right. So then they was like, he's out. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, okay. So I don't know. I forgot how I got in contact. I think it was through my homeboy. He was like, I got his number. You know what I'm saying? If I can give it to you right there. I was like, all right, well, give it to me. Give it to me. So he gave me the number. I called him up, and And I think I just thought about the movie, like in the movie title, like the day prior. So when I called him up, he was like, "What's up, man?" So I just laid it down to him, like, "Yeah, man, I'm glad you out," and all that stuff. And I was like, "Hey, man, I'm about to be shooting this movie, man." I was like, "It's gonna be called Stranded in the Bottom," about this chick that runs out of gas inside of a dangerous neighborhood, and she has to figure out a way to get out of there, unscathed. So he was like, "Oh, okay," and I was like, "Yeah, I want you to be in it. I want you, I got some lines for you." So he was like, all right, well, I'm with it. So that's how that came about, So once he said he was with it, I just went like, I just started getting started on it, I was like, okay, he said it's a go. I don't want to lose his interest. So I'm going to get it started now so we can get it going while he's excited about it and all that stuff. So it was crazy, because I just threw out like a quick little post on Instagram, just saying that be looking out, a film project is coming soon with ING Films and Lil Hawk. And then I just started getting a big response just from that. You know what I'm saying? It was just a post. And people was like, "Oh man, that's gonna be good. Oh, that sounds like that's gonna be good." Then I had somebody all the way from where's that place at? It's real super far. It's like way in Europe somewhere. Oh, Romania. Way in Romania that's reached out to me and was like, "Yo, man, I'm a big fan of the Banging on Wax and Lil Hawk, and I want to do a movie poster for you, if that's what you plan on doing." So I was like, "Yeah, hell yeah, let's get it going." Damn. So he was like, "Send me some pictures." So I sent him some pictures, and then a few days later, 3 or 4 days later, he sent me a poster, and it looked super legit. So that inspired me to take it even further too. I'm like, okay, we got to do this, because I was like, that poster looked too hard.
Lil Hawk's reach and Banging on Wax reach is very, very strong, man. All the way out in Europe, dude, in the middle of nowhere, Romania, wanted to help out because of Lil Hawk. Tell us about what it was like. I mean, even before we go into what it was like working with Lil Hawk, man. Talk to us about your relationship with him before, during, and after his 26-year prison stint.
Okay, so my relationship with Lil Hawk before that, was always, I'll see him in Inglewood all the time, and we was already from the same, same area. So, but he's older, he's older than me. So he already had his age group that he was already hanging with, that he was already doing there with, because that's like my brother's generation, So I was just a little kid watching them growing up, in this environment, at that time, So while I was going in Morningside, I was already active. I used to be skipping school, go through the bottoms, hang out with them, Spider, the other homies, Baby Odie, Noodles, Lil Hawk would be out there, It was crazy. He'll even come on campus, just walk through there like it was nothing while we was at school, and be saying what's up to teachers that he used to go to school with up there, and saying what's up to us, what's happening, homie? And walking through there. This all at the time that the Damu Riders was circulating through everywhere, And I'm tripping out, as a high school kid, I'm already coming to school bumping into music, So I'm damn, look, they go to big homies walking through here like it's nothing. These are straight stars. So he used to sometimes I'll be on Century catching the bus. He'll see me just patrolling through the hood and give me a ride to school just because, he don't want me to be out there slipping. So he gets locked up. I finish school. I do my rap. I started taking the rap stuff serious. Now that he gets out, I stayed in contact with him too. Every now and then, somebody will have him on the phone while he was locked up, and I'll get a chance to say what's up with him, say what's up to him. So fast forward, he gets out. It was all good once we, I laid the concept down, and he was all on board with it.
This is Global Cal-Link. You have a prepaid call from an inmate at the California State Prison, San Quentin, California. To accept this call, say or dial 5 now.
Hey, what's the deal, man? I'm just walking it down as usual, getting closer to the day. Freedom is near.
Yeah, man. Yeah, can't wait to shake your hand, brother, in person. Let's talk a little bit about some of the bigger stories that have happened as of recently. Are you familiar with Suge Knight's new podcast where he's recording a podcast from prison, kind of similar to what we're doing right now?
Yeah, I've seen it in my news feed on my tablet. A few of the episodes. One them talking about Akon and a couple other things. Yeah, I've seen it.
Okay. What are your thoughts?
I haven't heard it though.
Yeah. What are your general thoughts on Suge Knight, though? A man who started in the hood, had a rough upbringing, according to most. Builds himself up to become the CEO of a $450 million record company. Snoop Dogg, Dogg Pound, Tupac had the world in the palm of his hands and lost everything, and now he's sitting behind bars. What are your thoughts on the Suge Knight story in general?
I'm kind of torn. I'm probably not the best person to ask about that because one of the people that really helped me come up through the prison system and get my mind together and get me right is a very...
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
They're like brothers. So
who is that? You got
I've always been on that side. I said, okay. So, I have a little bias towards him in some regards because one of his closest friends is one of the guys that mentored me early on through prison and helped me get my mind together and get straight. So, I just try to look at it from the point of view of, here's someone who suddenly had the world put into his hands, and it might have been too soon. You have to have character to be able to really handle that type of responsibility. You know what I mean? To yourself, to your fans, to your employees. So I think it was just way too much, way too soon, and we saw how that turned out. But I think that I don't know him personally, but I think that he does have some business acumen. You know what I mean? He does have some kind of business smarts to be able to pilot a company from nothing to 450 million. So I have to give him some props in that respect. His affairs outside of his business might have got him caught up into a lifestyle that we're all trying to escape. So it's just very unfortunate to see someone that I wanted to work for at one point in my career up in here with me.
Yeah. What are your thoughts going back to the 90s when the whole East Coast, West Coast thing was going on, and it led to an unfortunate situation where Biggie and Pac both lost their lives? What do you, as a hip hop fan, as someone who was following the culture back then and now, what were your thoughts then, and what are your thoughts in hindsight of the Tupac, Biggie, East Coast, West Coast media created situation?
Man, I was torn. I was torn down the middle because I love both of them as artists and what they represented. Man, I think Biggie was easily one of the greatest storytellers in the history of hip hop, and then Pac being just the voice of a generation. You know what I mean? The heartbeat of a generation, and to lose both of them back to back like that. When I was, at that time I was like 17, 18 when that stuff was going on, and I was really deeply enmeshed in music. I was in the rap game. You know what I mean? These were people that I wanted to work with and work for. And then to see those two young lives cut short, it just it hurt. I ain't even gonna lie. I had a ceremony of my own when Pac died. I went and poured out a little liquor, got smoked. You know what I mean? And just shed a couple of tears. Like, man, this cannot be true. This was before it was a common thing for rappers to be getting killed like it is now.
Let's continue with your career. You signed to Intimate Records eventually, home of legendary artists like RBL Posse, Andre Nicotina, Pooh Man. Yeah. Tell us a bit about, in hindsight, what the history of Independent Records, or what you know about it, and then how you guys became to sign with them.
I can't remember exactly. I know there's a rumor out there that Master P introduced us to Independent Records, but that's not true. We met Master P at Independent Records. You know what I'm saying? Which, I mean, I don't the rumor ain't bad.
Everybody.
Right. The rumor ain't bad, but it's just not accurate. We met P at Independent Records. He didn't bring us to him. We met him there. I don't remember exactly how we got the number, because Independent Records was back then. It was divided. It was music people, which they had a distribution side of the company, and then he started Independent Records, which he would start putting out artists and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like top Bay Area, or Bay Area artists that's hot that just need a push. He was taking them and giving them a push and putting them out there. You know what I'm saying? But independent artists was also going to him for music people, which he was doing distribution, also putting your CDs and your tapes in the record stores and shit, getting your shit out there. So in the beginning, when we first did, after Mike died, I'm going to have to continue that story. After Mike died, my homeboy Manny the Black took over and started helping us. We had to scrap the Direct from the Backstreet out. I'm sorry. We had to scrap the Crazy Shit album because Michael's brother, after Mike died, his brother didn't want to, he thought at the time groups like Public Enemy and Poor Righteous Teacher and X-Clan and them was snatching the charts and on the radio and shit. So he had a group called Black Dynasty out of Oakland. Shout out to Black Dynasty, which they had some great music. They shit was hard as fuck, and it was like Afrocentric, kind of like X-Clan type music, and which was hitting at the time. And Chris, being a businessman, I guess he felt that type of style of music would go farther than our type of style of music, So he told me, nah, I think I'm gonna roll with Black Dynasty, and just put y'all on the back burner, basically. So we had another homie named Manny the Black. Manny the Black filled in for Mike D, and we scrapped the Crazy Shit album, and we recorded Direct from the Backstreets. By the time we scrapped Crazy Shit and started recording Direct from the Backstreets, we had already had a few years studio experience. This is like 91. We had met TC in like 89. So we already had like 2 years, a year and a half of recording songs and putting songs in the song format and writing about topics and telling stories and all the shit, beat selection. And we was, at this time, we were seasoned, you know what I'm saying? So it was really nothing for us to just scrap the Crazy Shit album and record something new and something fresh, you know what I'm saying? And just come again, like, fuck it, let's go. And we recorded Direct from the Backstreet in 7 days. We stayed at TC house. We worked day and night. We wrote shit there in the studio. We, TC would make the beat, and we'd write that motherfucker right there, go and lay it. And, we worked hard, you know what I'm saying? And we recorded the whole album in 7 days. And then it took TC another 7 days to mix the album, you know what I'm saying? Or maybe 6 days. So I think Saturday we went out and got drunk and shit. So, but
yeah,
doing things good. So, and once we finished it, and we sat down and listened to it. Manny came to the studio and listened to it, and we sat down and we felt comfortable. We felt proud of it, you know what I'm saying? And we hit the streets with it, you know what I'm saying? And we got it pressed up. The first day they came back, when I bust that first box open, it was like Christmas, like, you know what I'm saying? To see your face on a CD, an actual CD cover with the shrink wrap on it, and your name on the back of the credits, and the songs that you wrote as the titles of the, it's a great feeling, It's a great feeling.
Man, 92. What year did you guys release your first album? I know you just said it was in 92.
No, we dropped it in 91. And I know Wikipedia says, I think June of 92, But the story of that is we was independent with the record before that. We put the album out ourselves before that. And yeah, so Wikipedia documents the date that In a Minute put it out is June some 92, if I'm not mistaken. I might be wrong on the date, but I think they got it as 92. But we actually put it out in 91, the end of 91. Mike D died August of 91. And between August and I think we put it out December. I think we put out December of 91. November or December of 91.
All right, so 91, 92. I'm assuming, like most contracts, even nowadays, but especially back then, were pretty shitty. Is it safe to say that your first contract was pretty shitty?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Break it down for us. Just not the money part, obviously, but just talk about, that side of the business. How did you consult a lawyer, or did you just sign? Talk to me about that whole situation when you guys got signed.
When we signed, like I said, we bought the album to him. So when we signed, we was under the understanding that it was a partnership. Like, you know what I mean? It was a partnership because we bringing you our product. We already had our own record company established, and we brought you the product. What happened was we couldn't keep up with the supply. You know what I'm saying? Back then, when you get your CDs pressed up, that should take 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Our shit was moving off the shelf so fast that we couldn't keep up with it.
Damn.
It's like, you know what I'm saying? It was too much for us to handle at the time. And we didn't know what the fuck we was doing. We just knew how to make the music. We didn't know how to sell the music and distribute the music and market the music and, all that shit. So we felt after, like I said, we put the album out in December. They didn't put out till like June, I believe. May, June, something like that. So within the 6-month period, we was working it as a record company, selling it ourselves, making a whole lot of money. So we figured that that's how it was supposed to be. You feel what I'm saying? We was making hella bread before we signed them in a Minute Records. And then all of a sudden, it's kind of like, well, yeah, and now you got to pay for this and this cost and that this and deduct this. But when we was doing this shit ourselves, it wasn't costing that. You feel me? We had this motherfucker popping when we brought it to you. That's the reason why you signed this, because we was already hot. We came to you. You feel me?
Damn.
You heard about us. You heard about what was happening.
One more thing, Nate Dogg and Coolio, man, 2 legends that we lost. I know you knew them personally as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Coolio, of course, I knew before he even blew up, before he got a record deal. He used to come to parties that I promote. He was a part of the LA Posse. Do you know, I'm looking at him. I'm looking at his face. I can't. Anyway, Coolio was a part of the LA Posse, if I remember right. With DJ Cool and all them. And so, since me being with Spade a lot, of course, Coolio was there. Dub C, and just man, it was a lot of fun back then. But I've been to Coolio's house, the mansion, when he was in Fox Hills, which was the biggest house I've ever been in. I haven't been in a lot of mansions, but that was the biggest. I mean, it's like 4 floors, had an elevator in it. It was, yeah. And he was another one. He was super humble. Coolio was, whenever I asked him to take pictures, no problem. He invited me to his house a gang of times, looking at the fight, chilling, having drinks and stuff. Matter of fact, Coolio wore my clothes to the Magic Show in Vegas. You know what the Magic Show is?
Yep.
He wore my stuff to the. I had a bad experience there. With that's another story too. But yeah, he wore my stuff there too. So me and Coolio was hella cool, super cool, real down to earth. We were friends. Nate Dogg, rest in peace. Of course, everybody knew me from the Compton Swap Meet, so he already knew me too. Warren G, they all knew me already. But me being in contact, I was only in contact with Nate Dogg all the time because I was always with Snoop. So if Nate Dogg didn't have nothing to do, he was going to be with Snoop too. because wherever Snoop go, it's going for one, it's going to be fun, it's going to be, you know, a party. But it was Nate Dogg was around for work. We in the studio. Nate Dogg is there to see if he can put a hook on it. If he can't put no hook on nothing, Nate Dogg used to be out. But he was real. He was down to earth too. I remember being at I don't know. I think it was in Hollywood at a video shoot. When we was in the trailer. I think it was the Next Episode video with Dre and Snoop and them, and we was in the trailer. And Nate Dogg used to always have a fifth of Hennessy with him. And I was like, I got 5 on it. You know, that's when the song got. He was like, no, all you need is a cup. And I got me one of them little red plastic cups, and he poured me a couple shots, and we just chilled. And went to the video. But Nate was real cool too. Could play. All of them could play basketball good. Nate, Snoop, Warren, they all good in basketball. But Nate was real quiet like me. Nate was always quiet. He didn't really talk too much. But he was always cool and down to earth.
Damn. R.I.P. to some legends, man. I appreciate you coming on, man. I feel like we just scratched the surface, so hopefully we can do this in the near future. And I would love to get Alonzo, maybe involved as well, so he can, participate. But a lot of good stuff, man. I really appreciate you coming on. Is there anything you want to promote? You know, I know you have some books as well. Like I said, I did my research. You go into relationships and things like that in your books. Is there anything you want to promote? The floor is yours.
Yeah, I can promote the book. I did write a book. I self-published a book. It's called When His Ways Meet Yours. The subtitle is When You Love You, He Will Follow Suit. It's basically for women, but it's men friendly, and it's a book. It's an inspirational book. It's motivation. It's self-help. It's to bring up the woman so she can be a foundation for her man. Want to know more? Buy the book. You can get it at my website at mywordsofwisdom.com, or you can get it on Amazon. All you got to do is look up When His Ways Meet Yours.
Yeah, I love that, man. And thank you for that. We got to try to keep the family together. And I know you've had your troubles with relation. You know, hey, it happens to everybody. At least half of marriages end in divorce. So who better to learn from someone who, has probably made mistakes himself. So definitely cop that book. And I'm going to put the link in the description as well. Man, it's been a pleasure, dude. Thank you so much for coming on. 93, 94, arguably, some would say that's when some of the best music in hip hop was released. I mean, I'm looking now, I see Illmatic, Ready to Die, Outkast, Southern Playlistics, The Diary from Scarface to Cal from Method Man. I mean, I can go on and on. UGK, fucking Common, Jesus Christ, MOP. It Takes a Thief from Coolio. When you guys went into the studio, were you paying attention to the competition out there, or did you just go in and do your own thing and hope something happened out of it?
We went in, we were always in competition mode. We were always trying to be better than what was out, or at least up to par. The bar was so high, like with those. Of course, we were fans, so we was bumping all that. Scarface, we was bumping Method Man with Nas. I have a documentary on my Instagram is Bambino's World. So it's BAMBINOS World, Bambino's World. Instagram at Bambino's World. My documentary's on there in my bio. It's called Music Made Me Do It. But in one part, I talk about when we went to New York on our promo tour, and they played us Nas Illmatic before it came out. It was like somebody had a Suave, or somebody had a fucking copy of that shit, man. And New York State
from outer space, dog. Like, where is this guy from? Who is this? How is he putting these words together,
bro? And we knew. Remember, he had did that shit where he said "Snuff Jesus." Yeah, the barbecue, right? Yeah. So everybody had that little verse, and like, this nigga crazy talking about snuffing Jesus, but okay, but he's solid. He playing with God and all that. Like, I mean, that line just, you know what I mean? I guess it just sparked what he wanted it to do, people to talk. But then when you heard Illmatic, the way that he took one beat from all the top producers and One Love with Q-Tip, then he had the Premier joint, then he had the Large Professor joint, and the way it was lined up was a 5-micer. I can honestly say you went from one song to the next song to the next song to the next song, and his flow Oh man, I ain't even gonna front.
Sheesh.
It was intimidating for as an MC. Yeah, she was like, this dude is out of here. He like Cool G rap mixed with Slick Rick. I don't know. Woo, this nigga is out of this world. You know what I'm saying? So props to Nas, man, because he just put out a gang of hits. Gang of projects with Hit Boy recently, and it sound like he ain't missed a beat.
Man, he's
you know what I'm saying?
Better with age, homie. That's mature music.
Yeah.
Right there. I bump every project that comes out. King's Disease 3 is his latest, I think.
Yeah, the 3 was dope.
Magic, one of those. But anyway, he dropped like 7 projects in the past 6 years.
He did Magic too. Dude, he's on one right now, and I think it's dope because you know what I rock with is that the content is maturing too. It's not just the same old.
He ain't talking about selling drugs and being on the block and
nobody. He ain't killing nobody. He giving you some game, but it's still from a person you could tell from the street.
Facts.
And he's elevating to. That's what I heard Andre 3000 say some stuff lately where he was like, you know, what I'm gonna talk about? My eyes getting bad, or what I'm gonna talk about?
That's right. I did see that too.
48 years old. I just feel like, dang, man, maybe he is slump in life where that's just how he feels. But I feel like there's so much to give back, even with maturity and what you've learned, you know what I'm saying, through this hard life. And Andre, if he was to tap into that, could also be one of them dudes I think that could still bring something so dope to hip hop.
He's my favorite MC of all time. I was disappointed that this album was a flute album. I was like, God damn it. But it is. I understand the art aspect of it. But would I have preferred to hear Andre spin some bars? Hell yeah.
Bars. Yeah. I haven't had a chance to listen to it. Is it all flute or is he rapping over the flute?
No rapping at all. Not one word spoken. So it's more on some meditation shit, more like elevator type music. Like there's a market for it, and he ain't gonna go platinum in the hood, but it'll probably go platinum in the meditation parlors.
Yeah, that's okay. That's a part of growth too. But I hope he taps back into that 3000 spit. You know what I'm saying?
Same here, dog. Same here. Let me ask you about your 93, 94 again. Let's talk about that first deal. You know, most artists' first deal is whack. They'll admit it. You know, it's just horrible. It benefits the record label. The artist probably doesn't see much. But is it safe to say that looking back, your first deal was along the lines of what an average first deal would be like for a group first coming out?
I would say we got gang. You know, so that's the one thing, you know. You never listen. I love Laylaw to death. He's my big bro. Me and him, we never. Like I heard Lonzo say, he talked to him a week before. So did I. Me and Swab was supposed to go to the hospital. He said, "Oh, I got to do this other little treatment. I'll be out of here in a minute. I'll just see you next week." I'm thinking, okay, just law, my nigga's gonna beat it again, and I'll see him next week because I took my son to go. Last time he had beat it, he got out and we did some. They did some at the Cheesecake Factory, Tone Loc and all the West Side Tribe, and so we went to go see him and whatnot. But this time I missed him, man, and he passed. But back then, Easy and all of them were, you know, that what they got from Jerry Heller, they were passing it down in bad contracts. Our attorney told us, if you niggas sign this, I don't even want to be your attorney. Dang. She was like, I can't even be a part of this. Like, she was like, I don't even feel comfortable being like representing you if you sign this. You're giving away your publishing. You're giving away your. I mean, what the only thing they ain't asking for is your unborn children. Like, you know, she was like, they're giving you this little punk ass little upfront money and nothing else. And we was thinking, okay, go back to the hood where nothing else, or take a shot with Cube and hope we could switch the contracts up later. You know what I'm saying? And so, in hindsight, me being a grown ass man, I would have been like, nah, we gotta fix this and that, and you know, I need to publish, you know. But hey, hindsight 2020. Back then, that was kind of standard, like you said. All the contracts were made to fuck you, and you know, as some young kids, I'm barely 16. I'll take my little $7,000, $8,000. That was it, and you know. But it's 5 of us, so we split up like 50 racks, bro.
Wow.
For our upfront money, and you know, that should be gone in no time. You know what I'm saying? Luckily, I was a hustler. I was flipping mine. I'm gonna make my 16, but everybody else ran through theirs. You know what I'm saying? And so that's why we didn't get a second album, is because we grew up with the next 2 years in the year that we was like, damn, you know, we sold a couple 100,000 records, and we ain't seeing no bread, like nothing. And so it did cause some tension. within us and within the group even, because one reason why they were saying, well, the reason y'all not getting no bread is because there's 5 of you niggas. There's too many of y'all. You need to cut sticks and stones out. And we was loyal. We was like, no, these are bros. So we came up with. But, you know, when you sign into a production company with a talent like Law with D-Mac, they got beats. They like, well, we can do the beats. Y'all just want to pay some extra dues. They did our demo. They did records on the album. So they were like, okay, y'all, you know, okay, we ain't going, y'all
Sticks and Stones know at this time that they were kind of, you know, there was talks behind the scenes of them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it caused friction within the group because when it was tour time, Sticks did the hook. What's that to say about we let him do the hook, right? He did the hook line. He's the producer. We let him do the hook because the original song was to their beat. But fucking D-Mac played that fucking sample in the studio, and we started spitting the hook over that one.
Damn, okay.
And we was like, yo, it was kind of killing the demo version. You know what I mean? They had already remixed it up to it, queued it up and shit. We were like, oh shit. And so that caused some animosity. And so we said, look, Sticks, you just do the hook. You know what I'm saying? Don't worry. You're going to do the hook. You in the video. We not going to just X you out the group. You know what I'm saying? You and Stones out the group. And so when the funds got funny, which they started off funny, but when we started touring, you know, they was like, y'all want to take 5 niggas or save a little bit of your budget, take the 3 MCs that are rapping. The producers ain't like they DJing. You got another DJ, like and so that caused more tension. And then not to say we weren't getting paid. So this is where, you know, and then we dropped the wrong second single. We just made God had a different plan. We made a lot of little moves that just changed the course of where we could have went, you know, and should have went because, you know, arguably people tell us all the time, man, your album is classic. Every time I hear it, it takes me back to that time when everywhere I go.
All in your that album is the epitome of 1994, dog.
Too. And so we were supposed to drop For Show Shot 1994 For Show Shot. We was the first nigga saying For Show on record. That was what the streets were playing. But we let the label talk us into drop, don't stimulate. And it ended up being on like BET Uncut. But it wasn't like the right second single. We had too many just fill in. We had radio records we should have came with, and then within the street record For Show Shot, then the song with Q, then the song with Forrest. So like we could have did so many things that we didn't do. But once we started realizing we was getting beat out of our bread, we started thinking about going elsewhere. And when you're young, you just thinking you got 9 million more albums than you. Well, why am I keep doing this if I'm not going to get paid? I'm going to go this route and try to do something else. And so we did a second album. But then Law did the Law House Experience. And there was just some things went quirky with Priority and Law House. And so we got caught under that, and it just turned into a big ball of nothing. And, you know, but I always stay cool with Law. We remain friends, and he was like a mentor to me. So throughout, I started doing real estate, and me and him would always chop it up about like just business. Or I did this documentary, and he has a big part in my documentary. Music made me do it, and he came to the premiere of that downtown, and we just always stayed in touch. But as far as another levels, the album after the single "What's That You Say" and the little I would call it like a BET filler cut, "Don't Stimulate," that was it, bro. You know, we was like had pushed on to the second album. And in hindsight, I feel like if I knew then what I know now, I would have milked the first album longer. Shit, even if I had to put up my own bread. Shit, let's put up our own bread and shoot another little video and get this shit out. But there was no internet back then. We didn't have the means that people have today. You know what I mean? To actually put your shit out. Like, except in the streets, you put a little mixtape out. But now kids can put their shit right out to the masses tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll finish the song. You see Russ will put some shit out. I'm putting it out Friday. Yeah. And he's full independent, straight to the consumer. Mm-hmm. So it's a new day. If your business is on right, you can kill them right now.
That's fast.
You know what I'm saying? Cut out the middleman. Fuck the middleman. I'm going straight to the consumer. You know what I'm saying?